Grace, peace, and mercy are yours from the triune God. Amen. My spouse, Tamara, started listening to this theologian last year in preparation for going to see her give a presentation this last summer. And their work, in my experience, wasn't really my thing. They had been around for a long time writing, and I had tried to get into what they were doing, and their work felt sort of worn out, and I don't know, kind of idealistic. I just didn't get what they are writing about for a really long time, but in the process of her getting ready for this presentation, going to see her, Tamara listened to her a lot, and pretty soon, slowly, I started to understand the theology. I started to get what I was missing a little bit. Her writing is so full and beautiful and poetic, and it speaks to the human condition in a lot of really interesting ways. So let me paraphrase a bit of it for you. I get older, but never wiser. The days flow into each other and never seem to stop. I should not be left to my own devices because they come with prices and vices. And I end up with crisis. It's the classic human dilemma, is it not? It's me. Hi. I'm the problem. It's me. At tea time, everyone agrees. And I'll stare directly at the sun, but never in the mirror. It must be exhausting, always rooting for the anti-hero. This, of course, is from the renowned theologian pop star Taylor Swift. Anti-hero, who you have, I am sure, heard around. And say what you will about her, she nails the feeling I imagine the Pharisees are going through in the story today. The Pharisees in this story get put in a trap, which I think is so funny and relatable. Who hasn't been in this very same position where you see someone acting like a jerk and you let everyone know about it, or complain about the house being a mess while you are cleaning it, and then weeks later, whoever it was who you were talking to and complaining about simply uses your words on you? Oof, it's the worst. Oh, I'm the problem. These are my dirty dishes. Actually, I'm the jerk. This argument tactic Jesus uses in the parable with the religious authority is an old one. It's the old switcheroo, a reversal. Our passage in Isaiah does a very similar thing. We think things are going one way, and we get trapped at a judgment cycle and judge everybody, and then, whoop, reversed. Now it's on us. And it's really effective, right? It's hard to argue against our own words and our own condemnations of our own actions. In the text today, Jesus tells this parable about a group of tenants that are working a vineyard for a wealthy landowner at harvest time. And the landowner sends their servants to collect the landowner's share of the harvest. And the servants are killed. The landowner sends more servants, and those are killed by the tenants as well. And so the landlord sends somebody else, but instead of sending an army to arrest them and torture the tenants for what they did, or an assassin to kill them in revenge, he shows them grace, and he sends them his son, because surely they will listen to my son. But they don't. They kill him too. And Jesus pauses and looks at the Pharisees and asks them, what should be done to these tenants? And of course, the Pharisees throw the metaphorical book at them. They deserve a miserable death. And the landowner should find new tenants to work that vineyard. And Jesus quotes a psalm to them. The stone the builders have rejected has become the cornerstone. And continues to explain to them that, therefore I tell you, the dominion of God will be taken away from you and given to a people that produces the fruits of it. The one who falls on this stone will be broken to pieces, and it will crush anyone on whom it falls. And then the religious authorities knew that he was talking about them. They were trapped. Jesus was talking about them, but in reality, they were talking about them. I love that. They cast judgment on the made-up people in Jesus' parable, and all of a sudden, it's them. They are the one that they have been talking about. Jesus has given them the switch. Jesus is for sure being prophetic here and calling to attention the temple authorities not taking care of the people in their care, and it is made sure that it sticks. He uses the switcheroo, the reversal tactic we have been talking about. And like the tenants in the vineyard, they had not done what was asked of them. The tenants are supposed to farm grapes and make tasty wine. And the religious authorities are supposed to do what? What are the religious authorities supposed to do? Produce fruit. What's the fruit? Grapes? But not really grapes, right? The religious authorities are not out in the fields like farming, you know. What are they doing? What are they supposed to be doing? Bringing people to God, taking care of the poor. What's Moses talk about to everybody? Welcoming the stranger, helping the widow, standing up for the marginalized, advocating for the oppressed, holding people accountable when they don't. But they weren't. They hadn't done that. And now, just like in the story, they are plotting to kill the son sent by the one who gave them their authority in the beginning. And in the story, this is directed to the temple authorities, but it's for everybody, right? Everyone is supposed to do these things. Humans are supposed to help each other and live in community. We in the church, right? We are supposed to care for one another and be patient and generous and forgiving and are supposed to help those most in need. But because we know we are supposed to live that way, we get frustrated and angry when we see other people behaving like we know they shouldn't. Especially when we are the ones being treated badly by others. We see it and we scream, "Hey, that's not right! They deserve punishment." And like the temple authorities caught in the trap, we need to face the fact that sometimes we don't have that good fruit, care of the kingdom, love for each other all the time either. Sometimes we need to do the looking in the mirror and feel that reversal, that switch, and change. To know that we are the ones at fault here sometimes. The story, it is full of reversals. They catch me off balance, which, if you listen to the story, the Pharisees are caught off balance, right? Oh, gosh, he got away with that one. He got us, you know? And I love that. And the favorite one, though, is the stone that the builders reject. That becomes the cornerstone. It's quite the switch. Because the religious authorities are actively looking for a way to shut Jesus up and to allow them to continue doing what they have been doing. Who hasn't been there? And Jesus is foretelling to a time coming soon when he will be rejected by everyone. But he's predicting this death at the height of his popularity, just like 2 days after coming into town on the donkey on Palm Sunday and everyone welcoming him as a hero. He says that he is going to be rejected and called a criminal and buried in the ground. And the temple authorities, thinking it's going one way, everyone thinks Jesus is dead and gone, then nope, another switch. We get a resurrection. The great reversal in this story is that it is through this death, through this rejection of the temple authorities and crowds and disciples, that he becomes the cornerstone of the dominion of God, the solid foundation of our lives as people of faith. It's through dying on the cross that he defeats death altogether. contrary to how we think it should go, where death has the final word, it doesn't. And switch. Jesus starts something entirely new instead, a whole new way to live more fully than before. We know that all is not as it should be. People know that things are not as it should be. Even famous people like Taylor Swift. And it is easy for us sometimes to point it out and judge others, but honestly, we know that all is not as it should be with us either. But there is one reversal in this story that we haven't talked about yet. The one where those who have not taken care of the vineyard, the one where those who have not lived according to God's law, the one where those who remain perpetual anti-heroes who constantly fall short like you, me, and Taylor, and everyone else get pulled back to God anyway. And even though we think everyone else and us too deserve the worst, we get something else. Something different and unexpected. We get the reversal. And a resurrection invites us to new life into the dominion of God. And we receive grace anyway. Amen.
We invite you to rise in body or spirit to join in singing our